SC1 is really the time where we refine and we learn and we grow together. And then boy, SC2, it's like Cutco two-a-days, but it is the greatest thing ever. And, few people have made greater use of SC2 and what it can represent for you going forward than our own Mr. Jacob Shelton. Guys, Jacob is our West Fort Worth branch manager. And Jacob is a 3-time branch manager.
Yes, sir. This is my 3rd right here.
3-time branch manager. Guys, Jacob started as a wee little cub with us, and he started in Nicole Nisbet's office, and working with Nicole, working with Celeste Nambo, working with so many people in that great organization over there. And Jacob is truly just a Cutco Renaissance man, because he's had so much success as a rep. He's had so much success as a manager. He's had so much success working while he's away at school. He's an incredible salesperson. He's incredible at building dynamic teams of people and really building up just leaders and champions. Jacob has been heavily recruited, largely thanks to his Cutco experience. A lot of other companies have definitely come at him hard because they know a good thing when they see it. And we're very blessed that he has chosen to stay with us here as long as he has and continue to grow with us. For me, guys, y'all just get to see Jacob as this sort of somewhat completed figure and someone that is so poised and so talented and so experienced. Don't shake your head at me. I'm older than you. Okay. But I just want to say, guys, I remember Jacob when he was y'all. Okay. I as much as I love him, I don't want to lose sight of this. I remember Jacob when he was you guys. And so he sat in these same meetings you did, but the difference is, whereas a lot of people, John said, keep yourself in, don't take yourself out. A lot of people, I think, when they hear some of these talks, they go, oh man, that's really cool. I wish that was for me. Or I wish that talk was for me. And they sort of take themselves out of the game before they've even had a chance to learn and grow and show what they're capable of. Jacob has never taken himself out of the game. And that's why he's had so much success. So to get a chance to talk to us about the branch opportunity, a little bit about his Cutco story, I'm going to shut up and turn it over to Mr. Jacob Shelton.
I appreciate it, Brian. I appreciate you mentioning my success. One thing I haven't had success with is getting a haircut recently. I'm looking a little mungy these days right now with this little bowl that I got going on, but I appreciate the introduction. That's a better introduction than I could have done to myself. So thank you. Y'all, this is my 3rd branch. And when John asked me to speak about the branch manager opportunity, there's so much that I just wanted to convey in my message. And I feel almost bad for having to boil it down to 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to do my best to message to y'all what the best leadership and development process that y'all can go through is here with my little talk here. So before I just want to lead out with something that's going to sound a little bit crazy, but I just want to say, if you can sell one knife, if you have sold one knife before, you can run a branch. You just don't know it yet. Being a branch means that you have to lead an organization. And leadership, when it boils down to, does anyone know who John C. Maxwell is by chance? Anyone heard that name before? He's like the leadership authority when it comes to business. But leadership's just a transfer of belief. And if anyone knows what sales is, it's a transfer of enthusiasm. If you can master sales and you can transfer enthusiasm and you can get someone else excited about what you're talking about in the moment, you can transfer belief just as well. You can transfer belief from you believing that the homemaker set's the best fit for that individual to, hey, this organization, this development, this business is the best for you. You can run a branch organization. Now, before I say anything else and before I really get into the meat of it, most of y'all don't really understand what like running a branch really means. I mean, I don't think most of my reps could probably name my daily duties off the top of their heads. So just like kind of a 60-second overview for what really running a branch is. It's an opportunity for you to run your own business for 4 months, essentially as an intercorporate franchisee is the official business term in there. But really what it means is that you get to learn how to recruit, you get to learn how to train, you get to learn how to develop leaders in your organization. And you get to really build your own business under the umbrella of a larger business there. So similar to Cutco, how you have, you get to build a customer base. Instead, you get to have people that you get to work with directly. You get to coach, you get to train. And that's really why I've stuck around with it so far, is because of the people I've gotten to work with, because of the resume experience I've gotten so far. Brian mentioned that I've had offers on the table. I would encourage you guys to go, for my people in here, to go check out my resume on the way out. It's by the door, and a couple other branch managers are over there too. And I'll drop mine in the chat here if need be. But literally in the last 2 years, I've seen probably 20 to 30 different entrepreneurs just in the DFW Metroplex, just from literally from the referral business I've been able to build just by doing demos. And I can confidently say that within the last 2 years, I haven't gotten a job off. I have gotten a job offer from every single entrepreneur that I've done a demo for in the last 2 years. And I'm also more proud to say that all of them are pretty much over 6 figures. So it may not sound like, you may not think that running a branch, or maybe this talk's not for you, but I would encourage you, even if you don't think that running a branch is for you, you're going to get something out of what I'm about to say. You just don't know it yet. So please, I'd encourage you to tune in. But I remember when I started out with Celeste as an assistant manager, and I remember in 2019, I would get a glimpse of the big picture. I did a glimpse of what the kind of the office goals of what we were doing. And I remember just wanting to build something myself. I had goals like paying for school. I wanted to make a name for myself. I wanted to be the person that people could look up to and be like, hey, I want my kid to be like Jacob Shelton. I remember wanting to learn how to build an organization, wanting to learn how to develop leaders. And the branch manager opportunity for me has been the ultimate vehicle for all of those goals and much, much more. After my first summer branching, I achieved my goal of paying for school on my own. After my second summer branching, I really realized what it took to build an organization. And now, my third summer running an office, I'm realizing what the process of developing a team, of developing leaders really looks like. So just my branch story as far as it goes. When I was in 2019, I remember at SC1, the push contest they were about to go in, I was number one assistant manager for that push contest. I was number one assistant manager for Oklahoma and Northeast Texas at the time. And with that, I remember talking to John, and John said, hey, have you ever considered running a branch? I said, no, absolutely not. I don't even know. I really don't even know what the rest of them I'm going to do this summer, just because I was I would learn by doing. And so come to the end of the summer, I was like, I'd done enough assistant manager stuff to where I kind of knew what the office regimen was, kind of knew how to coach people regularly. And I was like, I also need something to pay for school, and I want people to remember my name. And so I'm going to run a branch. And so in 2020, I spent a ton of time preparing, but just preparing for training. And so if anyone, most of y'all were live in 2020, I would hope, right? 2020, COVID hit, everything's virtual. There is no in-person training anymore. I don't have to train. I'm doing things that I never thought I would be doing. And when it really came down to it, most of my day was just spent coaching people one-on-one. So I was learning by doing in my third summer that year as well with the company. And that summer, I really learned how to work hard. I was dating a girl at the time, and I remember having a conversation with her where I was like, hey, I'm going to be gone for 10 hours of the day because of what I'm building right now. And I'm asking you to really be there for me. And it was tough. Don't get me wrong. Like running any business is tough, but you got to make sacrifices. And I grew tremendously because of it. I remember going back to A&M, and everyone that I would talk to was like, dude, like we didn't hang out sometime, because like, I'm just learning things from you, just like talking with you. This is people that I would meet. And I say that not to brag, but and not to impress you, just to kind of impress upon you the maturity, the understanding, the life lessons that I learned just in 4 months running my own office there. And I remember my second summer, so 2021 last year, my second year branch office, I really learned how to recruit. Originally going in, I just wanted to work with a small team of studs. I had a dream that I wanted my team name to be Deal Team 6. That was my goal at the time, rather than kind of a large team of average Joes. Who here would prefer kind of a tighter knit group of studs rather than a large team of average Joes? I think most sane people would like to work with professionals. And then I realized that in order to raise the quality of people that I was going to be working with, I had to raise my own standards first, my own personal standards first. And then I could have both. Why not just have a large team of studs anyway? So why make it a small, tight-knit group if I could just have all studs in my office? And so that's really what I've been learning so far is, first summer, work hard. Second summer, how to find the right people, how to find good people. And third summer, I'm learning how to develop those people, to be the next generation of leaders. You can go to any old person home and have someone tell you that your generation is the worst generation, which is what they told every generation that's come in before. And I say that not to put you down, but just to say that you can be the difference maker in that. Just by sharing your goals and your demos, you're being the difference maker. You're inspiring people to believe in the next generation of leadership right there. And right now I'm learning business systems. I'm learning things that I never thought would have ever been possible. I'm learning to trust others to do important things for me, that so I can do more important things. I'm learning to let others learn by doing, instead of just having them watch me and then throw people into the fire there. So over the many goals I have, whether it be pay for school, whether it be a resume, my goals probably aren't your same goals. But let me say this: everyone here wants to create massive success for themselves, their family, and those around them. So maybe you're like Dave Roy, number one branch manager in 2015, who literally ran a branch just to prove that he could do it. He was actually, like I mentioned, he's the number one branch manager in 2015. Or maybe you're like Colton Horn, the 2019 champion branch manager, who had zero idea what he wanted to do. He just knew that he had a desire deep down to do great things, and leading people meant that. Regardless, though, if you have any desire to lead within you, please, I would encourage you, talk to your manager about what an assistant manager or branch manager opportunity would look like. I would bet that nobody here has knife expert listed as their dream job, but I would bet that you want to leave a legacy. I bet that you want people to look up to you, that you want a powerful resume, that you probably want to win. You want to be known. You want to be known in life. Y'all, Cutco is definitely a kitchenware company. Don't get me wrong. But in the business world, can we mute that person real quick? Like I was saying, Cutco is definitely a kitchenware company. Don't get me wrong. We sell a $250 million. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. We sell a $250 million worth of kitchenware every year. But in the business world, and this is what I learned over with the entrepreneurs that I've talked to over the years, in the business world, the Fortune 500 companies that know Cutco and Vector, Cutco is not a knife sales company. Cutco is the ultimate leadership and development company. I remember I was talking to Jonathan Schmitz, whenever we were in Cancun for a rep trip. He was my roommate, and he was on the events team for many, many years. I remember he was like, dude, I'm honestly still baffled why Cutco doesn't have like a corporate coaching program, because they would do millions and millions of that and probably be the number one coaching program worldwide, just based on leadership and development that we teach here. So regardless of what your goal is with this job, or even outside this job, if you have a desire to lead, please talk to your manager about running an office would look like. Talk to them about your leadership goals, because I guarantee you that even if you don't know what your goals are, we can help you discover those, and we can give you a vehicle to really achieve those and make yourself known. So with that, go branch. That's where I have 2 signs in my office that say go branch. So with that, Brian, I'm going to turn it back over to you, but please talk to your manager. If you have a desire to lead, talk to your manager about what that would look like.
Man, I love that so much. And by the way, John, I think it's great if you introduce Tyson. But before you do that real quick, Jacob, I want to ask you one question. When you were a new rep, let's say you were still in your fast start or just coming out of your fast start, like a lot of these guys are, some days, it's so easy to see other people being successful and sort of wonder, like, how could that be for me? Or what would that look like for me? What do you think just sort of kept you moving forward when you hit some of those early struggles?
I would say 2 things. One, I personally, I want to, be known. I want to make myself, and I think everyone does that. I think it's human nature to do that. And so expressing that to people in this division, expressing that to people I worked with. The second thing, and that was that people reminded me that I wanted those goals. People would push me to keep going forward. So if you have any innate desire, whether it's be known, whether it's be successful, whether it's lead, please communicate that with your manager, and we will hold you accountable to it. Like Brian has given me so much tough love over the years. I remember in the moment, I was like, what am I doing? And then afterwards, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I just learned an incredible life lesson there. So know your goals, communicate them to your manager.
I love that.
Definitely.
Man. That's fantastic. Well, I agree when you said people when they want their kids to be a Jacob Shelton when they grow up. By the way, I want my boys to be a Jacob Shelton when they grow up. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Well, guys, it's easy to see when you spend time and you get a chance to hear from some of the other managers. A lot of y'all probably have heard so much from me, or you hear so much from Celeste, or whoever your direct manager is. But the more time you spend around our whole crew, the easier it is to see why we create the results that we do.